We have a labor force that is highly educated and it can adapt to any skills or technologies that can be introduced. Yes, we are a small country with a small population, but God blessed our country with lots of resources. Currently, we are 21 years with sanctions imposed by the West on us. The intention was to cripple our economy and have regime change. To a great extent, they succeeded in collapsing our economy, but we decided to look inwards and depend on our own domestic resources to survive. And we have done that. And currently, our economy is on the growth trajectory. Instead of continuing to go down, it is now growing. And we are focusing on growing it on the basis of internal resources which we have. So we would want investments to come in. But as a result of the perception that Zimbabwe is under sanctions, many investors shun our country. There's a perception of political issues in the country, economic issues in the country, but I would like to assure investors that we are politically stable. Zimbabwe is in a peculiar position with regard to these issues because of our history and our current position in the international arena, where we are an isolated country on the basis that we have stuck our guns to be ourselves and do develop our country with the view that we are a people who have their own priorities determined by ourselves and not by anybody else. That's the first thing. Secondly, perception influences the outside world. Perception and reality do not always meet. There's a lot of misconception about Zimbabwe, especially by the West, just because we've chosen to be ourselves. My view is that first and foremost, each African country, or Africa as a continent, should prioritize what we want and invite investment in the areas we ourselves want. The development of a country should not be determined from outside. It should be an internal priority in terms of the order of development. Is it agriculture? Is it mining? Is it tourism? Infrastructure development? We have to make those choices ourselves. Secondly, before we spend the time addressing the perception of the outside world, I think it is necessary for us as Africa to integrate ourselves, understand ourselves as a continent, share what we have in terms of resources. Africa has abundant resources. It has youthful population. It has now the knowledge that the developed world have traveled a journey of developing their countries. And we are in that advantage that as we wish to leapfrog and develop our respective countries, we should not fall into the similar mistakes which the other countries, the developed countries went through. If we fail to recognize that we need to chart our own development pathway, then we will find that we will be divided. We will look outside Africa when we could have answers within Africa.